So I just came back from my run. It was about 4 miles. Ran around the track, and I thought I couldn't do 4 miles, but from the get-go I said 16 laps and just counted down. And I did it, and it was really hard. It was the last 2 laps really pushed it, and I cut 5 minutes from my time, I think. So I usually do 10-minute miles, and it chopped it down to about almost 9 minutes. So that's pretty good. One interesting thing that I noticed after my run, it was about 84 degrees, full sun, and usually I'll sweat like crazy and I'll start to feel my neck itch like first 10 minutes or so. Not only did it not itch, I sweat, everything, whatever. I did my cool down walk and I got back to the car, driving home, just got back home. While I was driving home, things started to burn, like when the salt of sweat hits the parts that I have scratched, as opposed to itching, which means that I don't have the inclination to itch, but I just sweat, and that sweat touched the already itched parts, and it was burning. So basically, what I got out of this was I ran, and the sweating didn't rise itching out of it. So that was the first time in like 7 months that's ever happened since I started being compliant, and it felt pretty freaking fantastic, even though it was burning. But look, nothing's itching, nothing is red, the redness is going away, and it's being replaced with something else. I don't know what it is. So hey guys, I thought I would do a bit of an update on my eczema. It's about, I believe this is week 5, and I had filmed earlier in the week, but things have changed so dramatically that I thought I would do a more up-to-date version. And the one thing I want to say is that this diet works. It's like, I have never gotten such a response out of my eczema as I have being compliant with a whole foods plant-based diet. And it's fantastic because when your dermatologist tells you basically that you're going to have eczema, you're going to have it for life, you're going to have to take ointments, and you're just going to have to suck it up and keep coming back and buying these ointments, it almost feels like a very mundane death sentence. It's very difficult to think that for the rest of your life you're going to have this uncomfortable, unsightly stuff on your body. But when somebody told me, or when I found out that you can change your diet in a way that basically that mundane death sentence goes away completely, I was so ecstatic. And finally I'm realizing that dream, that goal, and it feels freaking fantastic. Like, I'm about 7 months in, and I feel like I've reached the tipping point, and in another 7 months, let's say, I feel like I'm gonna have totally clear skin, and I'm gonna keep it that way. Like, I have suffered with itchy, red, inflamed, unsightly, bothersome, bloody skin these last 7 months. I have battled my way through getting all that garbage out of my body, and there's no way in hell that I'm ever going back to the foods that cause that stuff, or the ointments that cause that stuff, or any of the drinks, like, or coffee and alcohol, or any of that stuff. It just, why would I put myself back there? Life is just feeling so good right now. Life, things are getting so much better, and I know it's going to stay good or stay well because that's just the way that things are progressing, that it has been consistently shorter, the eczema outbreaks. And last year when I was in Vermont and not in New York, I've had this great skin. And when I was in New York the year before that, I had horrible skin. So I always associated New York with being very polluted, and there's no way I could have clear skin here. And here I am 2 years after that moment, and I have clear skin. And it was totally debunked that it's the environment. I strongly believe it's the food. It's so much more intimate inside our bodies. So finally I can see clear skin in a place that I grew up associating my eczema problems with. And it's totally not the city. It's the food. It's the drinks you put in your body. It's the ointments you put on your skin. It's all that kind of stuff. So finally, 7 months, things are clearing up. Yeah, I still have some on my face. Just got it under my armpit. I've officially had it everywhere. And the places where I've had it the longest, such as my arms, my fingers, well, let me say it in that order, the longest. My fingers, my arms, and my legs. In that order, things are getting better. So for instance, my hands never used to be as clear as these, as it is nowadays, like this. It's sort of just like really dry hands at this moment. As for my arms, check that out. The red sleeve totally went away. Now it's totally like palm colored skin or whatever. And it's just dry, you know? And it might have been the first time in 12 months that I see my arms this clear. It's been a long time coming. And then finally, I'll show you my legs, but it also shows signs that it's still a little bit dry, still a little bit flaky, but it's just getting so much better. So as you can see, I mean, it's still a little bit dry, but it's getting whiter. It's not red anymore. It's not that, you know, classic coursed over eczema look. And yeah, it's spread everywhere, but it's getting back to normal, slowly but surely. Not for long, it will stay like this.